welcome or welcome back to Flameborn Rebel Tarot. So, I know it's been a long time, like way too long, and I have like so much that I've been channeling and getting and messages and everything that I've been meaning to get out for so long. But because I've been like on vacation and the holidays and sick kids and everything, um, I haven't been able to do it. And so finally, I'm able to do it. And everything, I guess I would have to say, is like so much more profound than I would have even thought, right? So I'm trying to do, what I normally do, which is to go and ground and connect and everything and ask for the messages that I'm supposed to receive for the collective. And it was like, I don't know if you guys go through this, but it's like, if you haven't done it in a while, and then all of a sudden, like you ask for all these things and they all just come flooding. They just come flooding in, and you're just not even very sure, like, how to deal with it or how to process it. So it took me a minute to really, like, I did my writing, like my automatic writing as I'm channeling through all of this, because before this, I wasn't even sure, like, where I was supposed to go with everything, because there were so many things, and there's so many things that have happened since my last video, since my last message for the collective, that all these things that had come in, like whether it was in dreams or in the astral, or whatever was happening with all the synchronicities, because there was so much. And then I remember just thinking and like looking at the Schumann resonance and like what's going on with the planet and everything, and the frequencies and everything that's just like so high right now. And I think for the people that are awakened, it's so it's just been like really like really intense. And trust me, I've been feeling it just like you guys are. And I know that if you're here and called to this collective, that you guys are feeling that too, and that you're feeling that there's something higher, like something that maybe you can't even explain, that's going on. Things in your body that are going on, things that are happening that you just can't explain to other people, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, I'm here. If you need to talk to somebody about it, I'm here. Because sometimes I don't even know, like I have my very selective group of people who I know are involved in my soul mission and my purpose and my reincarnation, and why my soul is here at this time, which over time I have come to realize how important that is. And it is part of a prophecy. It is part of something that is going on right now, and all of those, Akashic records and soul remembrance that I have. Everything that we talk about, for some reason, just makes sense. But we're all going through those hard things. Like, those things that you don't like. Sometimes you have this worry in your heart that the things that you know are supposed to happen are not going to happen. And you get this, this pit in your heart of, but really, is it really going to happen? Because I know, like, I feel it in my heart. I feel this. But you still get this, like, this faint worry of, really? Is this really who I am? Is this really what I was here to do? Is this prophecy for real? Are these things that I'm getting actually, accurate? And I'm hoping that I can be maybe a little bit of a light in the darkness for you. When I realize, because there's been a lot of things that I've realized that are happening. They're going to happen. And then whenever I get with my soul family, like the people who are part of this, primordial thing, something that's been going on from the beginning of time. And I know that so many people are going to see this and be like, you're insane. Yeah, who do you think you are? Oh, you have this huge ego, blah, blah, blah. But I pray that when people hear me talk about this, that they're going to understand that it has nothing to do with that, and how hard it has been to accept that, and to accept the knowing of who I am. Because everything that I've been getting lately, everything, and it is someone who's very important to me and very important to this whole Earth mission. Ashera. Have you guys been seeing anything lately? I don't know, on TikTok or social media or whatever, about Ashera? About the tree of life? About the white wolf? I'm just wondering because if you're connected to listening to my videos, I'm just thinking that maybe you have a connection to that prophecy of Ashera and the great white wolf and the star child. And I won't go like super deep into it or anything, but I'm just wondering who of you out there has a connection and a soul resonance to that story. Because if you do, then I would know for sure why you're here. Maybe listening to this. It's been a long time. Like, it's been too long since I've done this, and I've been holding all of this back for so long that getting this out is like something that has to be done, right? So I'm going to start like I always do and start with my channeling. And hopefully some of you will connect to it and understand it. So I'm just going to start from the top. Fam, Orion star family, which is the first starseed family that I resonated with and recognized. And it is not one of the, major star families that people tend to resonate with immediately. But mine was immediately Orion. And then I got Orion, Lyran, Wars. And I know that part of my star family, and probably almost everybody's, is going to be Lyran because it's one of the original, right? So I started with this, getting this channeling of, okay, it goes back to the beginning of time. It goes back to the Orion, Lyran wars. And that a lot of us have connection to that. And that a lot of us have like these deep wounds that come from that. But also very deep memories, soul memories that come from that time. And then I heard the word amnesty, which made me think that, okay, they're telling me this because now is the time that we can let that go. Like, we're receiving amnesty, which is we're not blaming you anymore. We're not holding you accountable anymore for this. When you came from Lyra, wherever you came from, if you were part of that war, of that time and space, that you are being granted amnesty, whether you were on the Lyran side, you were on the reptilian side, whatever happened at that time, and all the trauma that it caused us from our past lives, that we are now being granted amnesty from that. So no matter what side you were on, there's no reason anymore to feel the guilt, to feel any shame, to feel anything that could be holding you back from your soul purpose, from your soul mission at this time. Because I think a lot of us, and especially those of us that have that very like close remembrance and soul ties to that war, that whole thing, we're being granted amnesty by the divine at this time, no matter what side you were on. We don't need to worry about that anymore. Erase that from your karma, from your soul memory, from everything. We don't need to be feeling that anymore, right? Okay, so then I heard Andromeda and Arcturians. So I think those are, I know that I am Andromedan. I have Andromedan soul ties. Arcturians have been my guides. I don't think I ever had like an Arcturian life. I don't feel that. But I feel that they are guides for us, even though we haven't had lives as Arcturian. That they're so heavy because they're so their presence of knowledge and wisdom and what they pass on to us is so important that it doesn't matter if we were part of like the Arcturian bloodline. We don't have to be. We can have guides that are Arcturian because that's what they do. That's what they give to us. is their wisdom, their technology. Their technology is insane and amazing, right? So when you connect like Andromeda and Arcturian, put two things that don't really match together. Their energies might be different, but when you put them together, it's so much more powerful, right? And they're both trying to come through to all of us right now, obviously. Then I got banished, buried, carousel of lies. So I immediately started seeing like karmic circle, this circle of lies is what it's basically saying, like a carousel of lies, and it goes round and round and round. And are we going to continue on that carousel? Are we going to continue on that ride of lies? Because it can continue to go forever and ever, like a terrible karmic circle, right? And I see that as like the grid, as the matrix, as something that somehow, I don't even know how, because I'm not that smart. I don't know how it took over at some point, but they found out and figured out a way to make it take over. And for it to keep repeating and repeating and repeating. A karmic circle, a carousel of lies. And part of and if you're here, I know that you believe that you are part of the reason and part of the purpose of breaking that cycle, stopping that carousel, like pushing that button that the carny pushes and like, boom, we're stopping this carousel. I don't even care if the kids like it, because the kids are the ones that are usually brought into this without their knowledge, and that's how generations happen without knowledge, right? Because nobody's stopping the ride, the fun. Nobody's stopping it and saying, I'm done. The carousel of lies is over. So then I heard ancient truths, manuscripts, rebellion, galactic wars. So I feel like a lot of you are definitely starseeds. You definitely are. Like, you've had so many lifetimes that aren't of Earth. You are souls of depth, old souls, shapers, shapers of what is and what isn't. You guys are those people, right? You've seen, whether it's in your dreams, when you're meditating, you've seen and connected to these manuscripts, these ancient truths that you can't see with a 3D eye. You see them with your third eye. They're coming in through your crown chakra. You're remembering the wars. You're remembering the things that we've been through, the wars that we've been through, the lies that we've been told and that we still continue to this day to deal with. You're connecting to your star families. And I know that Orion, and this is a problem that I had in the beginning, that I knew I was Orion. I knew I was Orion starseed from the very beginning, before I even knew what a starseed was. And I started having this fear that I would be perceived as bad or as like a reptilian or whatever. No, that's not the case. Just want you to know. Don't worry about that, because that is not the case. Orion was not overrun by reptilians in the first place. In the beginning, it was when, and that's why I'm hearing about these wars and everything, because when all of that happened, the people who were enlightened, even reptilians, they're not all bad. They're not. It happens still to this day that is like certain groups that are perceived to be bad are not all bad, right? Same thing with the reptilians. There are some that are ancient and wise. But there are lots and many that wanted war and wanted control back then. Hence the Orion Lyran wars that a lot of us still have past life soul trauma over, correct? But I think so many of you, if you resonate with this, you will have that past life soul memory of who you are, why you were there, knowing the fact that it's still going on to this day. And time is not linear. Everything is happening all at once, right? Which is why we still feel the trauma of this, which was supposed to be just going on in ancient history, beginning of time, whatever. So then I hear uncovered, unearthed, temples, portals, stargates, frequencies unlocked, keys received. Which just reminds me that together, and the people who are in this collective that I'm speaking to right now, this is what your mission is. This is part of what our mission is. Uncovering, unearthing, bringing about the truth, about the frequencies, about the portals, about the stargates, things that we actually have the power to control, that they didn't want us to know and would never want us to know that we could control. Because once we know that, they lose that power, right? But my soul fam, my star family, all of you who are listening to this right now, we remember who we are. They tried to make us forget who we are. That was the biggest power that they had. It wasn't anything like wars or bombs or, anything. The biggest power that they had was making us forget who we are and what our power was. And now we're remembering. We are remembering our royalty, temples, portals, ways of getting out of the grid, getting out of the matrix, We are traveling. We are remembering now how to travel out of the globe, out of the perimeter that they set for us. That's just an illusion. It's all an illusion. And I know that I'm here to remind us all of that. I have a very high frequency in me that's telling me, like, I am here to help people remember we are not stuck here. We are divine, primordial beings who can manifest, who can create. We're not stuck here. We just think we are because we've been told that all our lives. Once you break out of that, you're not chained up anymore. And the world will open up to you. You will remember your gifts, remember who you are. Next thing I got here, Ancient Wisdoms, Pleiadian Guide. So I think a lot of us are connected to the Pleiadian civilization. It's one of the, the most recent ones when it comes to, like star families and everything. It's one of the closest. And I think so many of us are connected to Pleiadian energies. And they are showing up. They're showing up right now. And they are saying, we are your guides. Call upon us. We're going to give you the knowledge. We're going to help you. We're going to help you clear things. We're going to give you wisdom. We're going to give you knowledge. Like, that's why they're coming through. And then I heard, now is the time to receive. Now is the time to receive. Sorry, I got to breathe a little bit. And then I heard alumni, which to me signifies like something or someone who has been through something many, many, many times, is very educated on it. If you're alumni, then you're coming back because you've already gone through the educational part of it. Now you're coming back as the master. You're coming back as who is full of wisdom, right? The alumni. And I think we all probably are part of the alumni at this point. But we still have so much that awaits us. We are not all-knowing. And this next part was reminding us that, yes, even though you are alumni, you are old souls, you do have all of this knowledge. Untold knowledge awaits is the next thing I heard. No locks, no keys. So, even if we thought, yeah, we have we have this knowledge, blah, blah, blah. We realize who we are, all the things. But still, we don't know shit. It's basically like the moral to the story, right? Yeah, we don't know shit. But now, everything's being unlocked. Because the frequency, what we're doing as flame-born souls, as star-born souls, as people who are remembering who we are, our soul mission, realizing that what is going on around us is an illusion. It is a matrix. It is something that is constructed to keep us bound to this place, which we know. If you're here, you know that that's not what you're meant for. You feel it. You feel it in your blood, in your bones, in your DNA, that something's just not right. If you're like me, you know something is just not right. Your whole life, probably, you didn't realize like what it was when you were younger. You tried to dismiss it and, whatever, blah, 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 coincidence, this, that, and the other. I tried to do that all my life too. I did, just to fit in and let others be higher than me, because I never wanted to feel like I was, more than other people. Like I've always been a healer. Like I've always been somebody of that magnitude that would help others, not try to diminish others, right? And I have a feeling that a lot of you guys are like that too, the same as me. And I have no regret for that at all. Like, that's just who I am. That's what I do. And I never want to feel guilty for that at all. Did I know that I was, completing a soul mission at that point? Hell no. I didn't know. I didn't know why all these people would just come up to me, even on the phone. Sometimes I'm talking to them about like AT&T, talking about my phone bill and this and that. And they just start telling me their whole entire life story. And I'm like, okay, well, this is weird, but I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to try and help them. And, you don't know why all of these people will just find you somehow, even if you don't like mean to. It's just, a bill collector or whatever. And they just all of a sudden start spilling their guts to you. It's because you are a healer and you are a safe space for people. And we have to remember that and hold our space, but also not let people take advantage of our energy and all that at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, we have to protect our energy. We have to replenish our energy. If you're healers, that's what we have to do. So, I got another page, y'all. Oh, yeah, I know. You're so surprised. Okay. Then I heard, accordance to ancient law, primordial existence. So those of you who are listening are very old souls. You're part of the dragon lines. I know you are. The dragon bloodlines. We don't follow man's law, man's rule. It is ancient law. It is our primordial existence since the beginning of time. Why are we going to follow man's law? Stupid, right? Redeemed and aligned astral essence achievement is what I heard. So that makes me see so many of you as well are working in the astral, even if you don't know that you're doing it. In the dream realm, you are acquiring gifts and good karma and everything because you are working in the astral all the time. even if you don't know it. And I know it's happened to me like so many times. So that's why I can say with like certainty that that's what's happening. And that's why I channeled this specifically. Your astral essence, which means your soul, your astral soul, is working in different dimensions, different timelines, alternate universes, whatever you want to call it. Your mission is being fulfilled in these places. Astral essence, achievement. So that means that you're actually making a difference. What you're doing in the astral, what you're doing in the dream world, if that's what you want to call it, but I know that you remember it. And if you write it down, just be sure you just write it down afterwards. Even if you don't, whatever, it's still happening, whether you know it or not. You are gaining achievement in the astral realm. You're doing things that are unimaginable, that are so important that you don't even know. But it's happening every night. And sometimes you remember it and sometimes you don't. If you can write it down and you can remember enough to write it down, like, do that. Because you need to know, like, the effect that you're having on the universe, on the frequency, on everything that's happening right now. And that you're successful, redeemed, and aligned. I heard that. Redeemed and aligned. So let's totally take this, I guess. And now the next thing that I channel is kind of totally different. So let's take it another level. So then I heard Aramaic Codex, which is obviously, we know Aramaic is one of the oldest divine languages, is Aramaic, the language of Jesus, of God, apparently. And that there is and I didn't hear, I heard codex. So that means that there's messages when that language is being deciphered or, whatever is happening. When people find things, and like I heard manuscripts earlier, if it's in Aramaic and it's creating a codex, that's a code, right? It's like a Bible code. And then I heard shrine, divinity, love, completion, which I really felt like Yeshua so hard coming through when I got that. I got Yeshua, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene coming through so hard with that. Just that feeling of love, of divinity. Like it's coming through. They're ready to give you so much love that you feel complete. Completion. Awaken and arise, my chosen ones, is what I heard next. So obviously I would be getting the energy of Yeshua with that, right? Yeshua, Yahweh, all of that, everything like biblical. But it's hard to say biblical. It's more divine. It's angelic. It's connected. It's everything that Yeshua would make you feel right. Just that unconditional love that he had for all of us, that he sacrificed what he sacrificed for all of us, for humanity, which just made me feel the presence of God, of Yeshua. And he says, emerge from the dark. Sirens awaken you. Your ladder to truth and ascension awaits. And I don't know if you guys have all been feeling that like I have, but I've been feeling that like pretty hard and heavy. And his presence very hard and heavy. And I started seeing Jacob's ladder. When I heard the word ladder, when I was channeling, and I was just like, and I couldn't even remember what Jacob's ladder represented. But I was hearing the word ladder and ladder to truth and ascension. Like that's what we're doing right now. We're working our way up. And he's helping us. He's here helping us get there. Get to that ascension. Raise our frequency. Climb that ladder. Right? And then with all, exclamation points and everything, I hear embrace the love. Because that's what it's all about, everybody. Like, it doesn't matter what I say, what anybody, it doesn't matter. It's all about the love frequency and embracing that. Because if all of us can do that, if everybody can do that, and we can all love each other, like, is that not literally Christ consciousness? Is that not the oneness that all of us have been searching for and hoping for and praying for? Is the love. If we embrace it, embrace the love, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong when you do that. If everybody does that, we literally find our oneness. And that's what Jesus was all about. The Christ consciousness. All around. I know, I need to breathe. Okay. And then I heard, en Nicaea, Nicene path, remember who you are. So this definitely has to do with a Jesus centered path. The Nicenes. Which can't be a bad path. So they're saying you just need to remember who you are. Because obviously when Jesus, people from biblical times are trying to tell you, and this is like the most important thing that they're trying to get down your like hardened brain, is remember who you are. What did Jesus always teach about us? He wanted to empower us to know that we were just as powerful as him, not to worship him in a way. He didn't even want a church. He didn't want money. He didn't want all that shit. What he was preaching was totally against the church and man and everything that man created for power, right? He wanted his church outside. He said, anytime two or more gather, it's a church. And when it's in nature, Mother Gaia, you gather around, and that is where your church is. You don't need to give them money. You don't, no. You just feel blessed and be connected to the earth, to Creator, to that power. Like, give thanks to Creator for what we have here, right? It was never about a church. It was never about rulers. It was never about somebody having power over you. He preached your power and how it would do greater things than his. I think maybe he was doing a truth or dare to us, y'all. I dare you. I dare you to do greater things than me. It says it in the Bible too. So many beautiful wisdoms in the Bible, yes. But Yeshua was daring us, literally daring us to do greater things than he did. Because he knew who we were. He knew our power. He knew our connection to Creator was just like his, and he just embraced it. And he was special. He was child of the divine that was brought here, an ascended master, to try and show us and remind us that we were too. And that we have those gifts and those powers just the same. And we're not asking to be worshipped. We just want to help everybody around us, which I believe his purpose was that as well. Not to be hired, not to, he just wanted to let everybody know that we were all connected to the divine. And not to let these people who were trying to keep the power and trying to keep us enslaved, to not let them do that. Turn over tables, man. Go in there, cause a ruckus if you have to. And as long as your heart is pure, you have the same power and the same gifts. And that's love. That is pure love right there. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's what I feel when I feel the love of Yeshua and of the universe. And just really, the power is remembrance. Because we've been so brainwashed to forget our power and who we are as a human race. It's so sad. And I just want everybody, I want every single one of you to remember your power. Because when you do, that's when everything changes. That's when the matrix breaks. This whole construct that they've created to trap us, it all breaks. And that's my mission here. Part of it, I'm a healer as well, but my mission, I believe, is to remind all of us how powerful we are in this. You're not just one person. There's so many energies and souls behind you that are connected to you. And if you feel the real connection, reach out, please. I would love to talk to you. Because the more that we bind together, the more that we ascend or create this frequency, this new earth, this everything that I know that is supposed to happen, and I feel it, like I feel it in my soul, right? And I'm sure a lot of you do. Then the more that we combine it and combine that energy together, the more powerful it is. And I'm sorry for going so deep tonight with you guys, but it's crazy. Like it's been over 2 weeks since I've done this, and really, because vacation and holidays and sick kids and all the things. And I've just been so like longing to do this for a while. And so that's why I'm trying to do it all at once. But actually, I do want to pull a couple of cards. And I know that I've kind of screwed all this up. But I do feel like it's important to maybe get just like a few cards. Just to kind of confirm, all this energy that I'm getting. So these are the Estal Temple cards. Because I was getting a lot of star energy, like... Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. 22. The Holy Child. Starseed. I am a divine child of the universe. Really? Like, that's the first one that would come out? I don't even have anything to say about that, actually. One thing I do want to tell you guys about, though, one of the reasons I haven't wanted to like be on camera, like, you see this? This was a firework incident on New Year's Eve, where I had a firework literally go up through the beanie that I was wearing into the inside of it and burn my face, like from my cheek all the way up here. So, it's been like a week already, and this is what it looks like now. But somehow I'm so blessed and loved that it didn't take out my eye or my eyebrow or my hair. No, it just literally hit me like right here in the center on my temple, and it really screwed me out, but it's healing, so I'm good. I feel very blessed that nothing worse happened, but wow, that's crazy. Yeah, 22, Starseed, Holy Child. What were we all just talking about right now? Okay. I just want to get like one card from all of the decks that I had laid out that I was thinking would probably be, beneficial. And sometimes they don't want to cooperate, but we shall see. It'll happen, I know. Divine timing. Oh, that's way too many. But that first one was definitely a confirmation of who I'm talking to tonight. My Starborn Collective, Star Seeds, chosen ones, divine ones. I feel your energy, and I it's like I feel, and I'm thinking it probably is a little bit like mine, to where you're like, I know all these things, like I know this stuff is happening, but sometimes it's so hard to really like believe it or grasp it, or like to believe that what you're getting and what you're seeing is actually divine guidance. Like it's hard sometimes and I think, because star seeds, like, we don't have like the egotistical crap, like we're not doing this work, so we're not doing this work for our own like ego and alignment. So I will continue to pull some cards. See what comes out for us. I believe these are Ascended Master cards. So hopefully we can get some messages from them as well. Oh, there we go. Huh. Oh, that makes sense, actually. Elmoira, clear and shield your energy. So we were actually literally just talking about that. How your energy is so like prevalent and so high right now that we need to be sure and protect it. I think I was literally just saying stuff about that. Like, we have to, when you're healers, when you're star seeds, when you're light workers, how important it is to literally, like, daily clear anything negative, any attachments, clear it, shield your energy. Always call back your power every day and release anything that is negative, anything that does not belong to you, because that diminishes and takes away from our power. So we have to remember to shield that, to protect that. And I see here that it's like, yeah, he has things that he uses, right? Like, we can use crystals, we can use things of energy that will ward off negative energy, right? Whether we're wearing the crystals like, obsidian or whatever, like things that will ward off the negative energies from us. Like, just need to be careful about that, because you obviously have so much and so like high in power. That you need to remember that, and remember that it's sacred. Hold it, protect it. So funny that I laid this card deck out, but it is a Starseed Oracle, which I was getting a lot of energy from, Starseed. So let's see what we get here, because I have a feeling it might be a little bit profound. Maybe. Huh. So we'll get a little bit more into this. Just saw 444 on the timestamp. So obviously we are being watched and held and protected. And it says, loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. So the way I see this picture is, have you felt lately with the energy that you're like in a free fall? That you're worried about you, about the energy that's happening right now? Because the first thing that I heard here was free fall. Like you're in a state of that. They're saying reclaim it. Don't feel like that. But the reason that you're feeling like that is because you're trying to have too tight of a grip on what's happening. And you want to have control over things. To let that go, because we don't have control. We can manifest, yes, we can do all the things. In a way, we can have influence. We can have influence of what's happening. And we can create change in what's going on. Yes, we can. But ultimately, until you loosen that grip and you say, you know what, you have faith. You have faith in what's supposed to happen, in what's going to happen. You're going to feel this way until you release all outcomes. You release control over what's happening. We don't have control over anything. We don't, right? Like control. Can we influence what's happening? Yes. Can we manifest? Because yes, laws of attraction, like that's how we do things, right? Like what you put out is what comes back to you. But ultimately, can we literally control everything that's happening? And that's like a huge burden on you, right? Like, why would God want to put that kind of burden on you to have control over everything that's going? No, like that's your job. I'm going to leave that to you. And we have to have faith. Things are not going to spiral out of control. We just have to like loosen our grip a little bit. Remember that we are not in total control of everything. And then we can be cool. with it. Yeah. Let it go. Just let it go, y'all. New deck. All right. Spirit. Really? You know what? I'm just going to go with it because obviously Spirit has more plans than I do. So we're just going to go with it. That's funny. Wow. Okay. And this is probably why. Because all these seem to go together. No mud, no lotus. Take a note from the beautiful lotus which defies the mud and murky water, to rise to the water's surface to show its beauty. Overcome adversity by blooming where you are. We were kind of just talking about that actually. And then self-care. Self-care is not being selfish. You're investing in the most precious thing on earth. You. If you don't invest in you, how do you invest in anybody else? You can't. And right after that, you see, like sometimes I would see like all these cards coming out and I would be like, oh, no, that's too much, blah, blah, blah. But this time I was like, no. Love yourself. In order to love someone else, you must love yourself first. Yeah. Self-care, love yourself, and then wisdom. Life experiences bring about wisdom. How to decide to use it will lead you to your success and your detriment. Yeah. And we're literally just talking about that as well. So all of these, like knowing that you need to know yourself and love yourself first before you can even begin to try to figure out anybody else. How can you do that before you figure out yourself? You have to do your work. You have to do your shadow work. Like all the things that have to do with you. Like, how can you even bring someone else into it until you know you? And I think that's part of what they're trying to say. And that's where, like, you know, the last card, the wisdom card, when you have that, you gain that wisdom, right? With your life experiences. And it could either be to your success or your detriment. Like, we always have free will. That's what it's saying. We always have free will to decide how we're going to use that, how we're going to bring that in as a part of us and a part of our lives and how we do things, right? That's wisdom. That's experience. Are you going to, you know, let it be, you know, to the detriment of you? Or are you going to use it to be and make the best of you? That's your choice. That's free will, right? Okay. I'm going to skip the dragons tonight because I know this has been a long ass video. So I just want an angel message because I feel them like pretty heavily right now. Like my main angel is Archangel Michael. Like we're kind of like buddies, and we have that kind of relationship. So I always feel like I need to get a little bit from them. Mm-hmm. All right, Rochelle. As you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. So, if you've been thinking that things have not been going your way, if you've been waiting for things that you know you deserve, they're just saying it's coming. It's coming to you now, but follow your heart, the guidance of your heart, because maybe you haven't been doing that. You've been listening to your head, your mind, things that are scrambling your frequency, your vibration. But as you come into yourself, you love yourself, you're doing self-care, you're accepting the wisdom that you're getting. Follow the guidance from here. Open it up. Clear your heart chakra. And once you do that, every kind of abundance that you've been wishing for is coming to you. Once that happens, your angels are saying that right now. So take it, claim it, love it, know that you can do it, and it's coming. I love you guys. Hope I didn't get too deep tonight. Enough sorry, not sorry. And I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? All right, bye.